here's your heads up to this 5-minute quickie. Well, it's all about the real danger of just saying the things that we just normally say to ourselves and how to change it, how to break the pattern and create an empowering life and empowering belief for yourself. This really is important, and it only lasts about 12 minutes. Okay? See you soon.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, I wanted to ask you a question. And here's a question. Have you ever said, "Oh, what an idiot that person is. Oh, he's a dope. Oh, what a moron." Have you ever said things like that? Because I know I have. And I'm ashamed to say I have. And I do try to catch myself. Because, well, it's an insult for a start. But the thing is, what you say on the outside, you have to remember goes in on the inside and is remembered. And I'm going to tell you what the effect of that remembering at the unconscious level is a little bit later. But the thing is, how many times do we talk about other people in that way? Even if it's not out loud, and that's the thing. Even if it's not out loud. You know, have you thought just with your inside voice, your inner voice, where you've said, "Oh, you stupid XYZ." Because I know I have. And the thing is, the more you say it, something happens inside. Your unconscious mind is very good at remembering things. So it doesn't matter whether you say it outside, with your outside voice, or your inside voice. You're going to remember this, even at an unconscious level. So just have a think for a moment. Can you remember when you've said things like that? Just pause for a moment and think. Yeah, it's embarrassing, isn't it? Because we don't notice it, I guess. Don't notice it. And this isn't to other people. This is just to, out loud to ourselves. But what about saying things like this? "Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, what a dumbo I am. That's pathetic, Paul. You really are." Have you ever said anything like that to yourself? Maybe you could just pause for a moment and have a think. When was the last time you said something like that? Yeah, probably not too long ago if you're anything like me. And the thing is, again, this is an internal voice. You might say it on the outside, but you could be thinking it, and your unconscious mind starts to take it on board. Now, here's the thing. Going back to NLP and the presuppositions of NLP, which are just some handy type of beliefs and statements to live by. And I find them really handy. They're really good, I think. People are not their behaviours. That's one of them. And that includes me, because people can act stupid. They can act like an idiot. They can behave like a dope. But that's not who they really are. That's just how they're behaving. And I think sometimes we have to cut them some slack because we don't know what's going on the inside to cause them to behave that way. They may be under all different kinds of stresses, pressures, you name it. But what about ourselves? We're not our behaviours too. So sometimes we may act like we're dumb. We may act stupidly. I mean, there's also another NLP presupposition, if I could say it really well, and that's everyone is doing the best they can with the resources that's available to them right now. And there's a positive intention behind every behaviour. Now, we're not sure what that positive intention is, but it could be just like self-protection or whatever. But I know here's a real silly example. I've tried to carry far too many plates back to the kitchen. far too many plates and cups and things like that. Now, at the time, that very moment, I thought that was the best thing to do. The positive intention, I just wanted to make less journeys for myself, make things easy. And then I dropped them all. Now, that was, you could say, a dumb behaviour to think that way, to think I could do it. But I had a positive intention, and at that particular time, I really thought I could do it. I thought I had the skill. But I didn't. But I was, that's not me. That was my behaviour. And if I learn from that, then I can do something better next time. But the thing is, this is the danger of self-talk. And that was the heading I had for myself for this podcast. But you see, what is the effect? Let's ask ourselves, what's the effect if we keep thinking in this way? Well, when we think about it, let's start where we started. When we think about others in this way, that, so stupid. Oh, I'm not going to keep saying that type of words because I've got to get out of that. But, what is the intention? Now, you may not say it out loud, but I can guarantee you, if you say it enough, it goes inside and you will start to communicate with that person or other people that gives that communication away, because your non-verbals, just the way you express yourself, the way you behave, your way your body language, even your non-verbal communication will give those thoughts away. You'll either act standoffish. Your voice will have a different tonation. Even the words might be really nice and kind words, but it has the wrong tonation and the wrong physiology. Man, you're giving off the wrong vibes. And the more you think this way, the more it's going to go in and then come out again. And really, we don't want that, do we? Because if we really believe in, people are not their behaviours, everyone's doing the best they can with the resources that's available to them right now, and every behaviour has a positive intention, we ought to be thinking a lot more kindly, I guess, about people and what's happening to them. And that's a nice thing to do in the world. So just wonder sometimes, we get the different perceptual positions. Maybe just think about, if I was in their position, I wonder what would make me behave that way. I wonder what stresses are. Maybe we could ask them. But even if we just take up the stance, they're just behaving that way, one day they'll learn. But here's the other thing. That self-talk about self, the one where we would say, maybe, I'm stupid. What happens when we do things like that? Well, not only are we going to remember it at the unconscious level, but we're going to be causing us to create a limiting belief at the identity level, which then goes through more than just that one context. It starts to become the belief, I am, say, stupid. And it's just below the level. And it'll start to stop you doing things. And all very innocently. But it will start to stop things, if you can start to stop things. It'll begin to affect the skills that you have, because you won't use them. And if you don't use them, then your behaviours will be lessened, because you won't be behaving with those skills. And you think about that. What's the effect when we have this limiting, negative identity belief that's affecting our skills and our behaviours? What happens when we attempt just to, have this personal development, this self-improvement, our goals, our dreams? Are we going to take those opportunities? Are we hell? So here's the thing. How do you stop this? Well, you have to interrupt the pattern. A pattern interrupter. You have to catch yourself. And when you do, just shout to yourself if you want, no, I just behaved stupidly. What can I learn from this? How can I do it better next time? Simple little things like that. Just, you have to catch yourself. Catch yourself when you're talking about other people. Because why not think about the good things that they do? And then you can excuse that behaviour for a short time. If it keeps repeating, then obviously you might have to have a word or move on. hey, that's the way they behave for the reasons and the experiences they have in the past and the resources available to them. Not the same as you, because, we're all different. We have a whole different set of experiences and learnings from each one. So catch yourself, especially when you're talking to yourself, which is sometimes even more difficult because it's like we're just a conversation, isn't it? But as soon as you catch yourself, shout, no, no. Or, hey, Paul, hey, Cluffy, that's not me. I just behaved in a way. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to learn from this. What could I have done differently? If this was easy, what would I have done differently? Let me learn from this. And start having the best internal dialogue with your unconscious mind. Get it to remember the good things. Get it to learn. How can I use these learnings at the unconscious level to create better behaviours, to access better skills, to access better resources? Because we've got those skills, because we're using them in effect in the negative way already. So let's just twist it on its head, turn it over. And then I think you're going to suddenly find that things will just start changing for you. Your internal dialogue will change. Your beliefs about you will change, because the identity beliefs will get stronger, more empowering, which will mean, you'll be accessing better skills, learning more skills because you can. You feel empowered. Your self-esteem is high. And you're behaving in a way that is you're going to be setting the bar higher than ever before and then jumping over that bar. All because of this little thing you're doing is by catching yourself with that negative self-talk. There you go. So let's think good about ourselves and think about look for the good in others, look for the good in ourselves. And the more you do that and get grateful for it, yeah, it's all lovey-dovey and all this stuff, but it works. It creates a high self-esteem in you, the true self-esteem that you should be acting from and behaving from, because it's the real you. Because the other thing about this is, where do you think some of those old negative beliefs came from? So many people I work with, clients, have these negative beliefs of things like, I'm so stupid. And they come from just little things that maybe a brother would say when they were very much younger, or a mother and a father might just say, just because it came out when they were younger, and it said once or twice and then it's taken on board. Well, they're beliefs that certainly aren't true for a start. They were just picked up from somebody else. Look at all your skills. Look at all the things you can do. Look at all the things you've learned. Look at how far you've progressed already. And then wonder, how far can I go? How much more can I learn? How much more fun can I have? Learning and improving myself, my self-development, my personal development. There you go. Just ask those questions and you're just going to fly. You're going to fly on your own, as it were. Hope you enjoyed that. Please give me feedback. What were your thoughts? What were your negative beliefs? How did you change them? What happened when you did that? When you interrupted that old pattern and created wonderful, empowering beliefs that are true for you? Do let me know at feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. That's the email address. You know all of that. Please do, and I'm going to speak to you real soon. And if you would, just listen to the message at the end, because it really is important. It keeps this little Personal Development Unplugged podcast and the things that we've got going, just makes it stronger and keeps it going. Okay, if you would have a listen, that'd be great. Until next time, I'll speak to you real soon. Thanks for listening, guys. That was really good. I really appreciate you being here. And I'd like to ask you a couple of questions, a couple of favours really, in as much as I'd like you to share this podcast. Share it in a few ways. One is I'd like you to just share it with your friends. Share it with people that you know, anybody you think it may help, because that would be awesome. Spreading the word, spreading the community of this Personal Development Unplugged. Also, I'd like you to share your thoughts with me. Share your thoughts, your feedback, the things you enjoyed, the things you'd like me to do differently, the things you'd like me to explore even deeper, maybe more things like depression, loneliness, or happiness, or good stuff. They're all good. But if there's things you'd like to give me feedback on, that would be awesome. Just email me at feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. Anything and everything would be awesome. And if I use it, obviously, total anonymity. Anonymity? You'll be anonymous. Also, if you could just go to the platform that you listen to this podcast on and give a review if you would. On iTunes, there's a capability of giving a 5-star review. That would be awesome. And just subscribe on any of those platforms so you get them on a Wednesday, you get them on a Saturday, and you don't have to look for them. Get other people to subscribe. That would be great because that helps push this around to other people too. And as you know, as always, I have a different set of programs on a website called paulcloughonline.com. Got lots of different stuff that, I know you have to pay for, but that's just a different thing. They're more involved, they're more detailed, and they're more structured. Just have a look at the website and the programs on offer. I think you'll find they're of interest. You've even got one which has its own 5-day free start, as it were. And sometimes you even just let go of your anxiety listening to those 5 days. Have a listen to that. And lastly, and not leastly, those hypnosis tracks. Just go along to that paulcloughonline.com/podcast and you'll have access to all the hypnosis tracks that have been produced for this podcast. They're all there. They're all in order. They're all numbered and they're downloadable. You don't have to search through 300 odd podcasts to find the hypnosis track you want. They're all there. And you might find something even that you didn't think of. And it's just right for you now. So do that. Have more funding stand. And I'm going to be speaking to you real soon. But thank you for your time.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.